All right. It is let me fix this. There we go. Ooh, it's bright all of a sudden. Okay, and I just turned all my lights on. Anyways, it's the 10th episode of the Running My Mouth podcast. I am your moisturized host, Aaron. I don't know if I'm going to make that intro like a regular thing, because sometimes I just can't think of things to say, and it was really obvious, like, right then. But anyways, it's episode 10, the big 1-0, double digits. Whoa, congrats to me. And, allow me to run my mouth for a little bit. So I'm not, I guess, not technically recording this late. I mean, it's what, like 3 o'clock? What time is it? It's almost 3:30 on Sunday, which is when I usually edit these, but I just wasn't feeling it yesterday. So I didn't record it yesterday, but I'm recording it today. So now it's coming out. Yay. And I think by the time this comes out, or no. Actually, by the time this comes out, it will not be fall, but in a couple of days from when this is out, it will be fall. So yay. Congrats to the planet, or I guess for technically just the northern hemisphere. Now it's finally fall. Sort of. And, it's really weird, because, like, we had a wacky few weeks there where it was, like, consistently over 100 degrees, like, every day. And now that it's, like, in the low 90s, it feels, like, cool. Like, ooh, I want to put my sweater on. I want to, like, bundle up, even though it's literally 90 degrees outside. That's still kind of a lot. But, it is, I do feel like the air is getting a little bit cooler. You know how when it kind of gets to, like, almost fall, and then there's, like, a breeze on the air, but it's not, like, hot air blowing. It's, like, it's cool. It's got a twinge of coolness in it. And I'm starting to notice that now, which is very exciting, because I hate hot weather so much. I genuinely hate it. I really don't like the heat. I want to move somewhere nice and cold and chilly. Doesn't necessarily need to snow all the time, but just somewhere where it doesn't feel like, the second I walk out, my skin is on fire. That would be nice to not have to experience anymore. But as climate change ravages our planet, it's probably not gonna be able to really experience that anywhere, except for, like, I don't know, the Arctic Circle. And I mean, who wants to live in the Arctic Circle? People do live up there, so, like, props to them for that. But, like, it's kind of a hard life up there, in the literal Arctic Circle. I'm not gonna lie. So, anyways, I have been listening to, and I think I have tweeted it out. I've been listening, which, by the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, you're only getting half the story. At It's Just Aaron with an A _ and that's where all the sauce is. But anyways, I've been listening to the Elon Musk biography audiobook because I saw that it come out, I guess by this point it's last Monday now. So I saw it came out last Monday, and I was like, ooh, I kind of want to read it. I kind of want to see what the tea is. Then I went on Amazon.com and I saw that it was 688 pages. And I was like, we're not, like I'm past the point of reading books that are over 300 pages. I don't care what it's about. Like, if it's over 300 pages, I'm not gonna read it. Like, even if it's under 300 pages, I'm probably still not gonna read it. I remember in an earlier episode, I told you guys I was reading Raceless by Georgina Lawton, and I'm literally looking at it on my coffee table right now, and I still haven't finished it, and that was like a couple months ago. I'm a really slow reader. I don't know what the deal is with that. It's kind of strange, I'm not gonna lie, but there is no way I was gonna look at a 688 page book in my hands and get the urge to read it, so I was like, there's got to be an audiobook, and there is an audiobook because it's 2023, and pretty much every release has an audiobook now, which is great, honestly. And it is 20 hours. And I'm kind of trying to remember, because the way that I consumed the A Song of Ice and Fire series was by audiobooks. And I'm trying to remember how long the first one was. I think it might have been in the neighborhood of like 19 hours or something like that. And I finished that in like a day. I know it took me like a day to finish reading it, or I guess listening to it. Like I started it and finished it in like the same day. Maybe it was like 16 hours or something like that. It was long, but it was long enough where you could like realistically finish it within one, I guess, I mean, not even 24 hours, because you spend part of those 24 hours asleep, but you get what I mean. But anyways, I've been listening to Elon Musk by Walter Isaacson, and I'm about, I want to say 3 hours in. I didn't check before I sat down to record, but I'm about roughly 3 hours in. And I think right now I'm at the point where, let's see, we're past PayPal, and he's gotten married to his first wife, but he hasn't had any children yet. And I think, I'm trying to, maybe SpaceX? I think he's like conceptualizing SpaceX. That's the part that I'm at now in the book. And there have been like some questions arising, because it's Elon Musk, about the validity of the things in there. And like I am keeping that in mind as I've been listening to it and kind of taking in some of the stories. But the fact that Walter Isaacson like went through interviewing a bunch of people, like it's not just Elon Musk that is speaking in this book, by the way. He's interviewed both of his parents, both of his siblings. I haven't really gotten to the point where they would come up yet, but his first wife has been interviewed. His friends, people like that. So it's like you get a variety of different points of view. So I don't think it's very biased. Like a lot of this stuff doesn't necessarily paint Elon in the best of lights. I think right now where I am in the book, which I think it's like the early 2000s, he's just kind of, actually no, I remember a point or a part from the book where someone, I can't remember who it was, maybe it was Peter Thiel, described Elon as someone who didn't know the definition of risk. Which, I can see it. I gotta say, I can see it, and so my views on Elon Musk have kind of changed over the years. Because, like, previously, when he was the Tesla SpaceX guy, I didn't really have much of an opinion about him. I mean, he was just some tech guy doing tech guy stuff in tech guy land. So I wasn't really preoccupied with anything he was doing or had to say. I mean, I know that I was, let's see, I mean, I've been a Reddit user, unfortunately, very unfortunately, since like 2013. So I can say, for the most part, his perception on there, which by the way, I don't even know why I'm bringing this up, because Reddit, the hive mind, they flip on people so easily, like way easily, so I don't even know why I'm bringing it up, but his perception on there was generally positive. But the thing where things started to fall apart, I think for a lot of people, was the Thai cave rescue, the soccer team in that cave, which, by the way, I saw a YouTube video someone had done about it. They were really far, like, in that cave. They were like a few miles into a cave. Like, how do you corral like a bunch of kids to be able to be organized enough to get that deep in a cave? Like, they were down there, because like I feel like for me, I'm not really a risk taker. I'm not a thrill seeker. I don't like stuff like that. So like if I see a cave and there's like, a nice big room at the entrance, I'm like, oh, neat, I've been in a cave. And then I'm getting out the cave. I'm not going farther in. There's nothing that I need to see in there, Like, and there's another guy that had to get rescued out of a cave again. And it's like, I'm not necessarily mad at the people who are getting rescued or getting trapped in these caves, because, like, obviously they're in peril and, you don't want to make fun of that. But, like, what are you doing down there? What is down there that you need? I have questions. But anyways, we're not getting into the reasons people go spelunking, even though, obviously as a Minecraft fan, when I was, like 12, exploring caves was like my favorite thing to do, and in Terraria and other similar games, which actually it's probably just Minecraft and Terraria that you could do that in, anyways, that I've played anyways. Back when the whole cave thing was happening, and like, people were trying to, lend a helping hand in any way they could to get those kids out. And Elon came up with the what do you call it? The little submarine, the child-sized submarine that wouldn't have worked because the cave contours far too much for a rigid submersible like that. Which, by the way, I think it's fascinating that they were able to get those kids out. I can't for the life of me remember what channel that video was on, but there was a video. I mean, there's probably been a few of them since it's happened, actually detailing how, first of all, how they got down there and how they got the kids out. That's just so fascinating to me. Anyways, but yeah, when I was made aware of like the whole child-sized submersible thing, it was like, okay, I mean, it's not really gonna work, but his heart's in the right place. It's like, whatever. Everyone's desperate to get these kids out of this hole in the ground. So like, whatever, it's whatever. And but when he called that guy a pedophile, it's like, okay, like, what are we doing here? Like, why would you say that? That's a little weird. That's a little wild and wacky, The guy's name is Vernon Unsworth, by the way. He called him a pedo guy, and then tried to say that it's South African slang, which is weird. And I remember, okay, we kind of went into this on our last podcast. I can't remember what episode, we were talking about Elon Musk for some reason, and Joseph tried to argue me down that Elon Musk calling this guy a pedophile wasn't that big of a deal. And even though, there was a defamation lawsuit Vernon Unsworth lodged against Elon Musk, which he ended up losing. But all that proves is that a court of law decided that Vernon Unsworth didn't suffer any, damages from being called that. Not that Elon Musk didn't call him that. He definitely did. We were there. All of us were there. We saw it. We saw it happen. So, like, that was kind of strange. And also to play it off as being, like, South African slang, which, I'm pretty sure... Well, okay. I'm, like, fairly certain Elon Musk isn't, like, an Afrikaner because, he just isn't. I don't know if... Does Elon Musk know Afrikaans? I would like to know. Inquiring minds would like to know. And you know what? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up. I'm sorry for all of my audio-only listeners, but I'm looking it up. Does Elon Musk know Afrikaans? That's not how you spell it. K-A-A-N-S. There we go. He does not. Okay, this is Quora, though. Let's see. I don't know where that came from. You would think living in South Africa... Well, actually, there's a lot of languages that are spoken in South Africa. A lot of them being, indigenous African languages. But, no, because I remember there's a part in the book where his, like, granddad became one of the first, like, English-speaking something in South Africa. So I don't think it's South African slang. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not convinced that calling people a pedo guy is South African slang. And even if you do, it still sounds like not nice, It's not a nice thing to say about someone. So right then, like, my conception of him started to go downhill a little bit, and then just little stuff started coming out, and it's like, this guy, like, what does he bring to the table exactly? Like, why is he venerated by so many people? Like, why do people see him as infallible? And, just how did he amass this really strange cult of personality? But I get it at some point, given that a lot of people have the incorrect conception that he's like the father of electric cars, even though, the people who started Tesla, there's two of them, neither of them are Elon Musk. And I guess, the whole going to Mars thing, if you want to be, I don't know, what's the word? Optimistic about things like that, then hey, great. But, I don't know. I feel like, listen, space exploration is, like, an objectively cool idea. So, like, I get why people would be into it, but, there's a lot of stuff going on Earth that probably needs solving before we write off the entire planet and try to colonize Mars. I think we can do a little bit of that first before we go to a whole other planet. Like, I get we could do those two things at the same time, but I don't think Elon Musk is particularly interested in fixing things here on planet Earth, especially considering he was given a dollar amount to fix world hunger and forgot about it. Just didn't do anything. So I'm not an Elon Musk enjoyer, if you couldn't tell already. I don't really respect him that much as a person. Realistically, the things that he brought to the world of tech, I mean, other people were also kind of doing it because, once I was at the part with, what was it? X.com, which was like his online bank. I mean, PayPal and X existed kind of concurrently, and they were kind of doing the same things. X had some things that PayPal didn't, but I mean, realistically, it was only a matter of time before PayPal started developing those things, if you think about it. So it's like, it's kind of like which one came first, chicken or the egg. Actually, it's not, I don't know if that's the right phrase to use, but anyways, I guess the one like kind of really innovative thing that he had was Zip 2, because like to have a kind of map quest before map quest, actually I don't know if it was before map quest, I kind of don't care either, it really doesn't matter, but to have that, have like a directory of businesses and then be given directions to them. Because like if you have yellow pages, which I don't know the like age demographic of the people who listen to this, but back in the day, you would get a thing in the mail. I can't even remember if you had to pay for it or not, or if you just like got it. You would get a phone book, right? And you had the white pages, which listed everyone and their phone numbers and their home addresses, which honestly, looking back, is kind of wild and wacky. Because if you just wanted to find out where someone lived or their phone number, you just went in the phone book, and you had to actually call like the phone book people to like opt out of it. Because I remember, oh man, when I was in elementary school, but I can't remember what grade I was in, but all of a sudden, the phone rings in our house and my mom picks it up and she's talking, and all of a sudden she calls my name, and I'm like, okay, who is it? And she's like, oh, it's so-and-so. And I'm like, so-and-so, what? What? And so I pick up the phone, and sure enough, it's one of my classmates, one of my male classmates. And we have a very awkward conversation. I'm like, why are you calling me? And he's like, I just wanted to talk. And I'm like, how did you even get my number? And he said it was in the phone book. Which, like, yeah, our number was in the phone book, because that's how things worked back then. And that was about 2008, maybe, something like that. And phone books were still in circulation back then, and they were like thick, like, because when I was too old to be like sitting in a high chair but too young to be tall enough to sit at the table, I had to sit on phone books at the dinner table to actually be tall enough to eat at the dinner table. I remember that. They're big, thick, and juicy, that's, yeah. So you would have, again, the white pages, which is people and their homes and their phone numbers, and you have the yellow pages, which was businesses and services and stuff like that. So like, let's say if you needed a plumber, you go to I'm trying to remember how it works. You would go to the plumber section, because it was broken down by type of business, I think. So you go to the plumber section, and let's say you want Steve's Plumbing to come snake your drain or something like that. And so you go to the section, and then I think it was sorted alphabetically. So you go to the S section for Steve's Plumbing, and then it would have a address for the business, and then it would have its phone number. And of course, if you have the address, listen, I didn't start driving until like 2017, and by then, I had an iPhone, and I had Apple Maps. And so I never had to go through all of the, trying to use like a physical map. Or, okay, so before my mom like retired from her job, she had a job that required her to travel a lot. And back in the day, like when I was still in elementary school, which I guess is not that back in the day for some people, but when I was in elementary school, before she would go places that she needed to go, she would print out the directions on MapQuest, which should have these sheets of paper with, your starting point and where each place you need to turn, and essentially, the steps in like Google Maps, but like on a sheet of paper. And, but if you're just, before MapQuest existed, or I suppose Zip2 at this point, you just kind of have to figure it out, which is kind of crazy. Like, I am genuinely at a loss for how to describe how to get from point A to point B without directions. Because, like, okay, if you're driving on the interstate, it is pretty easy to, like, get to a certain city if you don't have a, well, actually, I don't know how true that is. Because, like, okay, let's say you're going on I-55, right? And you're going north. Let's say I want to go to Memphis. Like, okay, if I'm in Jackson and I already kind of know that to get from Jackson to Memphis, you just keep going on I-55. And then in the Memphis area, you, like, get off onto, like, a different interstate or something like that. So that's kind of easy. But, there's road signs and stuff that'll tell you how to get to certain cities if you're traveling to a place. I guess if it's, like, a major enough city. Because, like, what if you're just trying to go to, like, a 100 population little township? They're not. Are they putting those on road signs? I don't know. I really don't. But if you're trying to get to a specific city from a place, I guess it would be a little bit easier with road signs. But, like, if you're trying to get to somewhere inside of the city, like, unless you know the street name, and even if you do know the street name, you might not know the street location. So I don't know. I don't even know how I got on the subject. Zip2. That was Elon's one, like, good thing that he did, I think. Everything else, debatable. So yeah, like I said, I'm about 3 hours in. I can't even tell you what chapter I'm on. I really don't know. Maybe 13? Maybe chapter 13. I don't know. So yeah, I'm really interested, because, like, now I'm in the early 2000s and I'm only, like, a very small portion in to, like, the story, so to speak, because, like, I suppose there's a lot that goes on within the last 10 years for Elon Musk, like, from, I don't know, if you want to say from 2013 to now. I mean, from, I don't know, let's say 2010 to now. There's a lot going on. So I guess I can see why those earlier years were kind of not sped through necessarily, but they weren't dwelled on. I'll put it that way. I'm gonna have a sippy sip. This is not real alcohol, by the way. Before I'm gonna divulge a little, because I did want to talk about this. Very good. Okay, that's not a burp. I was at the grocery store this morning on my little weekly grocery trip. And, you know how you walk through the store and you go through the aisles and you see all the really nice stuff in the store and you're like, man, it would be nice to have some of that. But then I realized I'm an adult and I can buy what I want. So today I bought cereal for, like, the first time in a while. Because, like, cereal is not something that I have unless I'm, like, at home, like, back home, which is weird, because, like, I could just buy cereal. Like, that's the thing that I can do with, like, my money now. It's a weird thing to say, because it really is a weird thing to think about, but I could just buy whatever I want. Obviously, I can't just, buy whatever I want, but, when the things that I want are things like cereal, then, like, yeah, I can buy a box of cereal. I'm an adult. I'm 24. I can buy my own box of cereal if I want. And so that's exactly what I did. I bought some cereal. And I also bought, you know how in the juice section at Walmart they have the sparkling juices in the bottles so that you can kind of look like you're drinking, but not really. So I bought the sparkling rosé. I'm looking over there because that's where my kitchen area is. I bought the sparkling rosé, which is what I'm sipping on today. Clink, clink. I also bought some wine glasses because I didn't have any. And I was like, I don't want to do this right. I don't want to just use a regular glass. I want to be fancy. So all I could find were these, like, weird, like, rectangular shaped wine glasses for some reason. Maybe I was just looking in the wrong place, or I just wasn't looking hard enough. But I guess these are technically white wine glasses. That's what the box says. Because I guess these are smaller than the red wine ones that they had. Because I guess you're supposed to drink more red wine than white wine. I don't really know how it works. I don't drink, okay? But I bought these because the red wine ones felt obscenely large to me. But I got sparkling rosé, and what is this? Some kind of sparkling peach cider. I think I've had it before. Either way, it sounds really tasty. I love peach-flavored things. I love mango-flavored things. I knew the battery was, like, kind of low, but I didn't want to change it because I thought it would last a little bit longer, but whatever. It's a good thing I wasn't, like, in the middle of a a sentence or a story or anything like that. All that to say is that I exercised my adult freedom today and I bought sparkling rosé that doesn't have any alcohol in it because I've had rosé before. I was at this brewery. Oof. Brewery. Can anyone say that word right? I certainly can't. I'm not about to worry about it all that much. But I went to this place that serves beer primarily, and I'm not really a beer person. I just don't think it tastes good. So I was like, okay, give me the sweetest wine that you have, and they gave me rosé. And it wasn't sweet at all. It was actually very bitter. So I'm like, okay, well, that was kind of lame. But this is sparkling rosé, and it is still kind of bitter, but it's also sweet. So it's pretty good, actually. I kind of like it. And it's got fizzy bubbles in it. Let me try to fix this. Oh my god. Because this is like way too low. There we go. Okay. So I was talking about the Elon Musk biography. And I wanted to talk about his like early life, his childhood and everything like that. I guess spoilers for the book if you want to read it, I guess. Also, I should say I didn't pay for it because I wasn't about. I felt I was like, should I? And I decided I should not. So there you go. So obviously, like most biographies, they start out with a view of a person's early life. It actually went into his family history a little bit, which I found really interesting. And use that kind of as a way to frame. I love a good framing device, by the way. I love a good framing device. Yeah, I love a good framing device. It used his, grandparents' lives as, trailblazers and trendsetters and thrill seekers and risk takers to really frame the events of Elon's life, which would be kind of cool if it wasn't Elon Musk. All it just shows me is that, his family has a history of not making the best choices, and usually it works out for them, but sometimes it doesn't. So in this case for Elon, I don't think it is. So, it is a good framing device. It does kind of frame Elon Musk as a person pretty well, I would say, but it's still Elon Musk. But so I found that part really interesting, but I think a lot of people, myself included, kind of had the maybe misconception that Elon was like, Mr. Richie Rich growing up. His dad did not own an emerald mine. He owned a share in an emerald mine, but once, the Soviets found out how to make fake emeralds, it flopped. Which is probably for the best, because, emerald mining, or mining in general, in Africa is not the most ethical industry, especially not back in the I don't know, 70s, something like that. So Elon Musk had an emerald mine, but it wasn't as successful as I think a lot of people are making it out to be. So there was that, which I like learning about that. Another thing, okay, about Errol, it's kind of brought up as an aside. I don't think they go into it very much. Not in the parts that I'm at now, because obviously all of this that I'm about to say is like just happened. But dude married his stepdaughter. That's kind of freaky. Got 2 kids with her. That's a little weird. That's a little strange. And something else. I think there's been a lot of talk about birth order. I don't know what to call it. Birth order roles for people. So like eldest daughter syndrome, that kind of thing, where, as the eldest daughter, you're expected to just kind of take care of everything. And firstborn son, where you're just kind of overly valued, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. Just kind of, I don't know. There's a conception about eldest daughters and firstborn sons. And I think Elon definitely falls into that firstborn son type of thing, where he just can do no wrong in the eyes of his parent. Well, maybe not his dad, because his dad was overall a POS, a so and so. So maybe not him, but definitely his mom. Especially considering that his mommy is still standing up for him, and he is 51 years old. So I think he got a little bit of that firstborn son dooming, So, but at the yeah. Anyways, so back to Elon's childhood. He didn't have a great childhood. I think we can say that because, like I said, Errol was a POS and a so and so. So things were probably legitimately pretty abusive in his household. And there's a part where I think Walter Isaacson, the author, is interviewing everyone about their time growing up, and Errol is like, whatever the kids say is probably true, and is really dancing around the question of, did you like do all this stuff that they're saying you did? And he's like, whatever they say is true, it's whatever. And then there's another part where they're talking about Elon moving to America because he does this, I think after he turns 18 or after he like finishes high school or something like that. He moves to either Canada or the United States, something like that. I think Canada first because he has family there. And the way that Elon frames it, and I think his mom as well, is that he, kind of decided to just not really up and leave, but he decided to leave. And he got some money from his parents, and they sent him off to Canada, and he like crossed the border, probably not legally. Actually, no, I think it was illegally because there's a part where they're talking about maybe Zip 2, where Elon Musk like got deported because his immigration status was like he wasn't in the United States legally. So yeah, I think again, this is like pre Donald Trump, pre 9/11 US, so it's pretty easy to cross the border from Canada to the United States. Because now people are kind of wacky about it. So he got like on a bus or something and came down to the United States and like lost all of his traveler's checks, but he got them replaced. It's a really weird story. But anyways, the the point that I'm trying to make is that when Elon made this decision, what Errol says happens is that, I'm not going to attempt to do a South African accent because, like, I just don't think I can do it. But he was like, I saw that Elon was unhappy, and, I sat down with him, my son, and I said, Elon, do you want to go to the United States? And he was like, yes, I do. And I was like, okay, follow your heart, go to the United States. And it's a lie, and we find out it's a lie because when he would have allegedly said this to Elon, Elon was like already out of South Africa and into Canada. So yeah, homie's got a lying problem. I don't want to say he's like a narcissist because it's a little what do you call it? What's the word? Why am I forgetting words? This is weird. I'm like forgetting words. I know the word, but I don't know it at the same time. I want to say pastiche, but that's not the word that I'm looking for. It's uncool. We're just going to say it's uncool to call people narcissists these days without having any proof. But honestly, real tea, I think his dad probably did have some kind of personality disorder just based on how they described his upbringing and also the fact that Elon exhibited a lot of those same traits. Which, sometimes those things are genetic, sometimes they're learned. But yeah, there's a point where May, his mom, kind of looked on, maybe not in horror, but maybe just like concern that, some of the stuff that she saw in her abusive husband, she was also seeing in her son. So, Also, another thing that I should say is that listening to Elon's like upbringing, it did really kind of give me it made me feel bad. I'm not gonna lie. It made me feel bad because I really do believe that if Elon was given any kind of support, just any kind of support growing up, he probably would have turned out very differently, which I suppose you could say that about a lot of people. If they didn't grow up in messed up environments, they probably would have turned out a little bit better. But at the same time, I do still kind of feel like Elon Musk is making his daddy issues and inferiority complex everyone else's problem. Like, he has these issues and he's like, you're gonna deal with it. Like, I'm putting this on everyone else. And it's like, whoa, like, plenty of people have daddy issues and inferiority complexes. And, they don't make it everyone's problem. So it's like, on the one hand, yeah, I think Elon should have gotten a little bit more support growing up. But on the other hand, I don't know. I don't know if the support would have fully helped him out, because I think maybe I also tweeted this out that if he, got more support growing up, he would have just been a normal tech guy instead of the turbo weirdo that he is. So I don't even know if that's necessarily true, though, honestly. Again, it's like, how much support and help can you get a person before it's like, okay, they're just like this, These things, you wonder them. You wonder these things. So that is my very disjointed kind of review of the Elon Musk biography. Again, I'm only 3 hours in, and I have a long way to go. 3 hours into a 20-hour audiobook. It's pretty long. Not gonna lie, it's pretty long. So I'm gonna have another sippy sip. But yeah. So I don't have anything else to talk about. That's embarrassing. Let's see. I mean, I thought about seeing Oppenheimer for like a third time. But I mean, right now it's like 4 o'clock and my phone's on 15%, bro. Right now it's 4 o'clock and it's like, I kind of don't want to leave the house. Like, my hair is looking like this because I just washed it, and it's like, this is not. I mean, I have left the house in this state before, so it's like not really that big of a deal, but it's not something that I want to do at this juncture. Something interesting. I don't know if this is like a widely done practice, but I was talking to someone and they asked me if I had gotten like my color analysis done, and I have not. Because like, where do you even go to do that? Like the salon in JCPenney, Like, can I do my own color analysis? Or I don't know if I have enough garments in every single color to analyze all of them. But even if I did, like, get a color analysis and, like, decide or find out what color works best on me, I'm probably still going to end up mostly wearing black. I just like wearing black. I don't know, man. Maybe it's the emo kid latent within me that prefers black. Or just the fact that it's just really easy. It goes with anything, I just like wearing black, And I was out with some people, what was this, Friday afternoon? And one of them asked me, like, what kind of shirt they should get for, like, their wife. And there was, like, 4 different shirts. One of them was black, one of them was, like, pink, one of them was blue, and I can't remember what the other one was, but I do know there were 4 of them. And I was like, oh, I get the black one. Because the black one was really sleek. It had a nice, simple, like, logo on it. It was really nice looking. But, like, I don't know what your wife likes. Like, I don't know. Why are you asking me? I'm going to get the black one. Hello, I was dressed in all black literally then, when I was sitting there with them. And they asked me that. I was like, I would get the black one. They asked me, like, which one would you get? And I'm like, I would get the black one. And so, anyways, I like wearing black. I've been thinking about this a little bit too, because I have kind of been wanting to like jazz it up a little bit more with my appearance. I kind of had this conundrum when I was in the 10th grade where I was still kind of in my hating everything and everyone phase, and I just didn't care about anything, and I wore the same clothes to school every day, which, by the way, when you go to a school that has a uniform, it is pretty easy to wear the same thing to school every day, and kind of nobody cares. People did care. Let me point something out. People did care, because something that I hear sometimes when people are arguing for or against uniforms in schools is like, oh, people, if you have a uniform, kids won't get made fun of because of the things that they wear. And it's like, that's not true. Oh, at all. That is so not true. That is so far from true. Because unless you mandate literally every part of a student's appearance. Like, if you go to one of those wacky Catholic schools where you have to like literally wear the same clothes every day, you're still gonna get made fun of. Your kids are gonna find things to make fun of, and they're gonna make fun of you for them. If it's not the clothes that you're wearing, it's just your general vibe. I don't know. Kids, especially middle schoolers, holy cow. Like, I've never gone to a school aside from literally college that didn't require me to wear a uniform, and people were getting made fun of for the things that they wore. I remember I guess I have lasting trauma from this because it still kind of affects me to this day. But I remember I was in what grade was I in? I was in middle school, and maybe it was in the 7th grade, something like that. Or maybe I was in the 6th grade. I can't remember. But I'm a very cartoon character type of person. Like, I will happily wear the same thing over and over, and I kind of don't care. But I only started to care because, when I was in the 7th grade, I of course went to a school that required uniforms. But you're given a little bit of freedom, right? Because like it's not like one of those wacky Catholic schools where every girl wears literally the same skirt and shirt and tie, I guess. Do they wear ties in Catholic school? I don't know. I never went to a Catholic school. And like blazer and all of that, where you literally all look the same aside from maybe your shoes. So like, people, they wear different kinds of pants or different kinds of skirts. As long as it was within the dress code, they'd have to extend past your fingertips, which is really weird. Because some people just have different body proportions. Like, what if you have really long arms? Then what? Then you just have to wear long skirts? Because, like, dress codes, especially for girls. Actually, no, only for girls. Dress codes are just kind of wacky in the way that they police girls' bodies. It's really weird. I never liked the concept of it, but anyways, back to me being in the 7th grade. I think at this point I was in charge of picking out my clothes for the week. I'm like 90% sure I was in charge of picking out my clothes for the week. And I, again, being the cartoon character that I am, but, still wanting to switch it up, I would wear certain things on certain days. And so every Thursday, I would wear a specific skirt that I had. It was a khaki skirt, and it had, like, these little pockets on it. I think it wasn't, like, a cargo skirt, like the ones that you see now that are genuinely butt ugly. It was a nicer skirt than that. And I would always pick that out to wear every Thursday. And our uniform colors were burgundy and white. And I think I primarily wore white shirts because my mom tried to give me my brother's old shirts, which, like, why did you think that would be something that I would ever want to wear? Because first of all, my brother is a boy and has boy proportions, and I am a girl with girl proportions. And also, at this point, I'm still very small. I am tiny, like, so little when I was in, like, the 6th grade. So, like, obviously they were far too big, so I was going to wear my white shirts that were purchased specifically for me and wear those instead. So I think I would wear a white shirt and this khaki skirt, like, every Thursday. And it was kind of, not really that big of a deal, but if you'll remember, I'm in the 6th grade and surrounded by other 12 and 13-year-old girls, and they are literally hell on earth. So one day, I was in a lunch line. I'll never forget it because apparently it's mentally scarred me beyond saving. I was in the lunch line, and I was just kind of minding my business, and there was this girl who did not like me because I had a crush on her boyfriend. Very 6th grader problems. And to be fair, I didn't like her either. But to be clear, she didn't like me because I had a crush on her boyfriend. And he didn't end up dating me, so it didn't really matter anyways. But it was a whole thing, actually. I don't want to get into it, but it was a whole thing. And she, like, points me out in the lunchroom, and she's like, I see you. You wear that skirt every Thursday. And I can't remember exactly what she said, but she pointed out the fact that I wore that specific skirt every Thursday, and everyone started laughing about it, and I felt very bad. And so I'm pretty sure I never wore that skirt again because I was like, okay, I can never let these people know my next move. I always got to be switching it up. I can't let the people know what I'm wearing and when. However, that only lasted for like a little while because eventually I get to maybe the 7th or the 8th grade and I get in my hoodie era because back in this time, this was 2011 to 2012 ish. Aeropostale, Hollister, American Eagle, but I never really shopped at American Eagle. It was really just those two for me. Those were all the rage at the time. And of course, being that I am from an obscenely small town, in order to get any of these garments, you'd have to go out of town to do so and drive for at least an hour to go to a store that sold these things. So, I begged my mom to buy me this one, I believe it was Hollister hoodie, and I think it was a zip up hoodie, and it was pink. And I think I wore that literally every day of my either 7th or 8th grade year. And it was like out of dress code, but I was also like, I had a little rebellious streak when I was in middle school, and I was like still wearing it. I don't think I ever got into serious trouble for it, but I remember the vice principal, which I don't know what it is about vice principals. Why are they always so terrible? Like, all my vice principals were just the absolute worst. Well, that's not true. Usually, if I had an issue with someone in admin, it was the vice principal. But anyways, the vice principal would see me and, of course, make me take off my pink hoodie. But as soon as he left, I would just put it back on. So it eventually got to the point where I was wearing it so much, he would see me and just not even bother to say anything. So I wore that pink hoodie literally every day. I do not still have it. That one got tossed out, I think, before I went to college. Like, right before I left, I like went through all my clothes and like got rid of the ones that I didn't want to keep. And that pink hoodie went right along with them. But I wore it so much that the sleeves, like the sleeve parts of them, no matter how many times we washed them, they were just stained, like just dirty, which is why I don't really like wearing light colored things a whole lot. Like this watch band that I have that's pink, I'm only really wearing it because the black one that I have, like all the elastic is like basically gone and it's too loose, and the elastic is starting to go on this one, but it shows dirt really easily and I don't really like that. Anyways, I was kind of wearing the same thing every day from probably the 7th grade up until like my 10th grade year. So 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and then 10th grade, I consciously decided to make a change. And I was really content with wearing the same thing every day. And also this was back when I had my hair straightened most of the time. No, all of the time. I never wore my natural hair up until like recently, like very recently. Which is a weird thing. It's a really weird thing to think about. I know I have like a whole video about it, which you should watch because it's a banger. But for the first like 22 years of my life, or maybe 21, for the first 21 years of my life, my hair was always straightened. I never just like wore my natural hair texture, which I think for us black girlies, like we get it. But for anyone else, like imagine having to put in the hours and hours of work, because it is hours of work, to make your hair like a different texture to fit in with society for all of your life. That's a lot. I don't think we truly appreciate, or maybe not appreciate is the right word, but truly acknowledge how wacky it was that we were out here chemically altering our hair to make it straight for the comfort of others. It's insane, you know? And I guess people, black women, have done this for, I mean, a really long time. But I think it's insane. And I am glad, you know, when I did work at my last job and saw, you know, was around younger kids more often, how many of them were, you know, natural and all that. So I'm glad we are moving past that, but God, that was weird. But anyways, I would wear the same clothes every day and I would wear my hair in the same low ponytail every day. And that was like my thing until the 10th grade when I made a conscious effort. It's like, okay, I need to start standing out. I need to switch it up, you know. I was still sort of in my not like other girls phase, you know, where I was like, ooh, I don't care about boys or makeup or hair. I'm intellectual, which is so cringe, by the way. I'm so glad I grew out of that. Like, every woman is great, and women support women. Women should support women, and that includes trans women. You know, we should all be supporting each other. Like, there is no competition. We shouldn't be bringing each other down to lift ourselves up, you know? So I hate that I went through that, but I think at some point, maybe every woman goes through that at some point in their life in one way or another, which is kind of insane. I'm thinking about a lot of these a lot of these things because I've been watching I haven't even really been watching. I saw one video today from Khadija Imbo. I hope I'm saying their last name right, but I got it on the mind. Anyways. What was I even talking about? Oh, 10th grade. I made a conscious effort. Okay, so back, I haven't had an iPhone for like a really long time, but I had a pink iPhone 5C for the, I think, entire duration of me being in high school. And on the 10th, when I was in the 10th grade, there's like the Reminders app. I don't know if it's still there, because again, I haven't had an iPhone for like a really long time, but the Reminders app on the iPhone where you can like make a little to-do list. And I had this thing called the Make Myself Pretty list, or the MMP list, I think it was called. And I had like a list of things that I wanted to do. So like, you know, start wearing nicer clothes, or, you know, makeup or stuff like that. And of course, my mom, being my mom, was, I didn't really tell her outwardly about the list because I didn't want her to be weird about it. Because I know if I did, she probably was going to be weird about it. But, you know, eventually I start asking my mom, you know, for nicer clothes or things like that, because I didn't really ask for that kind of stuff, girl. I still don't ask for that kind of stuff. Like, even now, I had an event coming up where I needed like a formal dress, and I don't really wear dresses all like that, and I didn't really have a formal dress. And so I went to Dillard's, which is probably my first mistake because everything's expensive. But I went to Dillard's because I wanted to find a dress, and I was like, I saw this one dress and I liked it a lot. It was like $200 and something, and I just didn't really want to pay that much. And I told my mom about it, and she like cash apped me like half of it. Not even half of it, more than half. I think like 3/4 of the price or something like that. A little bit more than half of the price of the dress. She sent that to me and I paid for the rest. So my mom has always been very gung-ho about making me more traditionally feminine. That's all I can say, I guess. So obviously she was okay with it, and I started using her makeup a lot because she had a lot of makeup. I mean, she had this like wicker basket. I have a wicker basket on my coffee table, but it's not like this one. It had like a top on it. Pretty sure she still has it. That like it was just full of like makeup products, like, you know, I don't know, lipsticks and not face products. Because my mom would only wear like powder like foundation, which is not something people do anymore, I don't think. But she had a lot of lipsticks, and those are what I was interested in anyways, because my mom, she and I are sort of the same complexion, but not really. And I also just wasn't really interested in wearing powder on my face for a whole day. Like, no. But she did eventually gleefully take me to the Clinique counter at our local Belk, which is now closed, RIP, to get me my first bottle of foundation. That was not the right color, by the way. It was so orange. It was too orange. And I remember going to that freaking Clinique counter to buy some products for them, and all the ladies, which, I mean, they probably were right about this. Actually, no, I don't think they were, because my acne was like wild and wacky back then. They were like, oh, you don't need foundation. All you need is some lip gloss. You're already so pretty. And it's like, I'm trying to give you money. Don't you earn commission off of this? Like, sell me some products, please. You know? Which, I mean, big ups to them for, I guess, trying to boost my self-esteem. by telling me I didn't need something that I was trying to buy. But interesting tactic, I guess. I don't know. That always struck me as kind of weird. But anyways, um I made a conscious effort when I was in 10th grade to like start wearing different stuff. And I bought, oh man, those army green jackets that were like super popular back then. I still love those jackets. I don't think I have one. Um yeah, I think my army green jacket from 2015 is long gone. But oh man, those like kimonos, which I mean, they weren't really kimonos, they're more like shawls, but they're really long. I had a couple of those that I wear a lot, button down shirts, which these days, button down shirts are dangerous territory because my jugs are just too large. And it's like, if it fits, it's gonna be too big. And if it, you know, it's not something that I can put in my wardrobe anymore. I'll say that much. I do have one like oversized button down shirt that I got from Boohoo like when I was in college that I still wear that fits me really nicely, but I haven't really been able to find anything else like that, so that's like the only button down shirt that I like wear these days. But when you're big up top like I am, you soon learn that button down shirts are not your friend. And eventually I did learn that because I had this one, um it's kind of thin and like blue and kind of sucked honestly. But I think I got it from like Ross or something like that because that's where my mom would always take me to buy clothes. Um and I remember, trying to put it on one day. This is in high school now. Trying to put it on, and it's like, when you're top heavy and you try to button up a button down shirt and it just like pulls, is have that going on. So that was very disheartening. But anyways, yeah, I started making more of a conscious effort to like, I wasn't really doing my hair. I mean, I was always just getting like a silk press like once a month and just kind of leaving it at that. Sometimes I would braid my hair, like I learned how to braid it, or I would get my mom to braid it, or I would just get my mom to like do my hair, which she was really willing to do even up until my graduation. She did my hair for my graduation. And gosh, I remember for some reason our neighbor was like in our house. I can't remember why. I don't know if she was invited in or what. Well, okay, I don't want to say neighbor because that frames a little bit differently. They were the what do you call it? Tenant. They were a tenant of my parents, in the house next to ours, and she was there for some reason, and my mom was doing my hair in like I would always, I still do. I don't super frequently anymore because I try to, it doesn't look very nice to be completely honest when I do it now, but it's like a really easy hairstyle that I go back to, but just like two braids down the back. And back when my hair was longer, obviously and also straight, the effect was a little bit different, and also dyed. I used to have dyed hair. Like my hair was like sort of, but not really, like a balayage from brown to obviously black, which is my hair color. Um until I like cut most of my hair off like 2 or 3 years ago. I've been thinking about dyeing my hair again. I don't think I'm going to. My hair is probably the healthiest it's been. I don't want to jeopardize that. Me and her, we're making good progress. I don't want to like mess that up. So, but my mom was doing my hair for my graduation, my high school graduation, where I had two braids down the back because I thought that would be really easy because then I could just pin my cap into my braids. And she wanders into our bathroom where my hair is being done, and she's like, okay, you get you those kindergarten braids. And I'm like, who invited you? Like, why are you here? Why are you in my house? Because already my graduation was like a really stressful, both of my graduations were just like a really stressful time for me. There's just like a lot of people around and a lot going on, and all I wanted to do was just kind of be over with it both times. And it's like, ugh, anyways, like who asked? Who asked? Why are you here? Why are you in my bathroom? Go next door, you know? So that was a weird time. But all of that is to say that now that I'm kind of, settled, I guess, I've kind of gone back to wearing the same thing over and over again, which again, I am perfectly okay with, like, I genuinely don't care. Like, I wear the same couple of pairs of jeans and the same few band shirts to work every day, and this sweater because it's really cold in my office. And thankfully, since I'm not in middle school anymore, nobody cares. And obviously, I'm not wearing, like, I don't know, I don't even have anything that would be like somewhat questionable to wear at work. Most of the stuff that I wear is not it's mostly for comfort, number one, but it's also not, wild and wacky, like I don't have my legs out or anything like that, which I don't know. I don't know what I was saying. Nobody cares what I wear anymore, except for me, I guess, which is great. It's a great feeling. But also at the same time, I am kind of wanting to switch it up. And it's kind of I don't want to say it's like hard. Well, it is kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. It is kind of hard because, like, aside from like buying new jeans every so often, I don't really go. And I mean, that event that I had to go to, but that was like a one off thing. I don't really just like go clothes shopping, you know? Because, like, when I was in college, I stayed on H&M and boohoo.com, like, let me tell you, which is really interesting because now Boohoo is kind of, well, it really was like that back then, but it's shifted a lot more into the Fashion Nova territory in that a large section of the clothes, like, what is the occasion? Like, where are you wearing this to? But it wasn't like that, I would say, back in like 2017, 2018. I think they had like a lot more like basics options that were actually halfway decent. And I still have a lot of those clothes. Like, I know both Boohoo and H&M are labeled as like fast fashion a lot because they are. But for me, even the fast fashiony stuff, I keep it around for a really long time. Like, if I find a garment that I really like, I will wear it until it falls apart. I mean, the only reason really recently why I've had to like buy new jeans is because my thighs eat them up, you know? So, I mean, that's really the only reason I've had to like buy new clothes. And now, like, that I have a sewing machine, even if I get like a hole or something in something. So, like, for that dress that I bought for that event, for like work, I brought it home and I put it on and it had like a hole in it. And I guess I somehow did not notice that when it was in the store. I don't know how I missed it, but I was able to fix it because I have a sewing machine. You can kind of tell. You can definitely tell if you look up close, but given that it's black, like, it's hard to tell. And also, there's like a sash that goes over it, so like then you can't really tell. So, like, it is nice to be able to kind of repair what I have when I need to. Um, but like a hole in the thighs, that's really, I did when I got a hole in the thighs of one of my pairs of jeans, like, after, not long after I bought my sewing machine. I did try to like fix it with like a patch from like an old pair of jeans that I had. Um, and like I successfully sewed the patch in, but like it was gonna be pretty noticeable. And what I did was, instead of, like, how in, I don't know, old timey type of movies or cartoons or something, you'll see a character with like a patch over their knee. Like, I didn't put it over, like, over the top of the jeans. I did it like under it. But it's still, you would still see that it's, first of all, there's a hole right there, and second of all, there's something underneath it. So it wasn't, yeah, it wasn't a successful experiment. I'm gonna have another sippy sip. But anyways, I have been wanting to, I don't know, switch up my wardrobe a little bit, because like the jeans and the band shirts are fine, they're practical, they're comfy, and I haven't really been having to do it a whole lot recently, but sometimes I do have shoots that I need to be on, and I need to be able to walk around easily and like maneuver and bend and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, people who've ever operated a camera before, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, but I need to be able to do all that stuff comfortably, which is why I usually just wear jeans and a band shirt. Sometimes I'll wear a work shirt, rarely. Like, if I have to go somewhere, like, on behalf of my job aside from that one event because it was like a black tie event. But if I have to like go somewhere on a shoot or something, then I'll wear my shirt. But like, I don't know. I'm just chilling. When I'm at work, I'm just chilling. Like I am chilling so hard. Like I'll be sitting at my desk cuz I have a cubicle. I don't really have like my own office, but I'll be wrapped up, oh goodness, wrapped up in my blankets with my headphones on, working on whatever I'm working on. Like I chill so hard when I'm at work, which is honestly such a slay. I mean, I was doing that at my last job, but it wasn't it wasn't as chill as it is at this job, but I big chillin' when I'm at work. Like, but at the same time, like, I still want to look cute, you know? So I've been doing my nails a little bit more. They're not done now because I took them off. Not took them off. I took my nail polish off. These are my natural nails. My nails grow pretty long, pretty quickly. Um, and they're also a pretty nice shape naturally. And my mom's hands are like that. And according to her, because I didn't, really get to know my grandmother, but my grandma's hands were really nice. She had, long, strong, nicely shaped nails. Um, and honestly, I don't have any hacks or tips or tricks for anyone for growing their nails. If I look away for like 2 minutes, they get longer. So honestly, it's a weird thing to say, but I want them to grow slower. They grow too fast. Like I don't know, maybe it's just cuz I don't pay attention to it like that, but I feel like my nails grow so fast. Like faster than I can keep up with. But I have, I'm not simply nailogical. I'm not like not nailing, oiling up my nail beds or I don't know, doing those things on my cuticles. I've been told I have good cuticles. I don't really know what that means. I mean, they're there. I don't know. Like listen, I really don't know. I don't know what that I literally I just don't know what that means. Apparently I have good cuticles. Whatever that means, that's what I have. So I don't really have to do anything to my hands aside from, shaping them up with a clipper or like a filer or something like that. However, the issue is like my nails, I don't know how well you can see them. Or let's see, is it gonna focus? Okay, I think it's focusing. I don't know how well you can see them, but they're pretty long right now. And it's kind of not helpful to me because I spend a lot of time on the computer at home and at work, and so it makes typing kind of difficult. And also, I'm just a person that approaches life hand first, like I'm just ramming into stuff with my hands, and because of that, my nails break pretty easily. They haven't broken recently, because I mean they're at this length now, which means they haven't really broken in a major way recently. But I feel like as soon as I go to work and like pick up a camera or like try to open a camera case or something like that, they're gonna snap off. Cause I mean they have before. So but I think they're at a really cute length now. I do like them when they're long and painted. Because if they're painted, then I can't really, hyperfixate on how they're all like weirdly shaped. If they're painted, like it doesn't make it stick out very much. So like I do my nails and obviously I try to do my hair. Although that's a battle because it's it just takes so long, I don't really wear makeup to work. Have I ever worn makeup to work? That's a great. Well, okay. When I had to get my picture taken one day, and I knew so ahead of time because my first day on the job at this current job, they had to take my picture for my ID, and I didn't know they were going to do that, and I was looking kind of wild and wacky. So my official picture is me looking way rough. Like I can admit it. I was looking a little. It was weird, um, but I got the opportunity to take another picture. But they're not going to update my ID because apparently, if you need another ID, it costs money, which is lame. But I think the last time I wore makeup to work was that, and I mean, I never wear face makeup like ever. I mean, I used to, but I don't now because I just don't like the way it makes my face look. Because my face isn't one uniform color, like my forehead is a little bit darker than my cheeks, and nothing is very uniform. And if I put on like foundation or something like that, it looks like I'm wearing like a mask with like eye holes and a mouth hole and like I guess eyebrows. And it looks really weird to me. And I don't like that. So yeah. And of course when I wear fun makeup for the channel, it's usually like way bright colors. Which I'm not gonna do that for work because number one, it takes a while and I'm already having like a hard time waking up in the morning. But I just don't wanna I just don't wanna. I just don't. You know, it's kind of crazy to me because when I was in high school, I would wear makeup to school every day, just about every day. Like, I'd wake up in the morning and like get ready and then like put on foundation and like lipstick and mascara and eyeliner. And that was it. I wasn't doing any kind of contouring on my face. I wasn't doing my eyebrows, which back then, my eyebrows were like pretty thin. I mean, they are still pretty thin, but my mom always like asked me like what I've done to my eyebrows, and I didn't even really notice that I've done anything to them until she started asking. But last year, I was like, getting sleepy at my desk in the middle of the day, and I was like, ooh, I don't like that. So I tried to look up like whatever vitamins I might be deficient in, and I saw that vitamin B12 helps with energy. So I started taking vitamin B12 gummies, and it didn't really do anything for my energy, but it did make my eyebrows grow. I'm like, that's the only thing that I can think of that like actually did that. So, this is not medical advice, but vitamin B12 might make your eyebrows grow. I don't know. I haven't really taken it since then, so I don't know. They haven't kept growing, but they used to be really thin. But they still are, but also I think are in a better shape now. I did start doing my eyebrows when I was in high school, but I thought it made me look angry. I think that's just my natural eyebrow shape though. Like I just have that face, I have that leave me alone face, which is great sometimes, but not all the time. And also, I just straight up didn't know what I was doing with makeup when I was in high school, which really there was kind of no excuse. Cause like, I mean, the girlies these days have it way easy, but even back then, when I was in high school and when I was wearing makeup on the regular, which would have been 2015 to 2017, there were makeup tutorials online. Like, there were, I could have learned. I chose not to, because I don't know, man. I still, I don't know. I just chose not to. So I was looking kind of wacky, I'm not gonna lie. Um, but that's part of it's part of growing up. I think you need to be awkward. I think that's required. Being awkward builds character. You can't be perfect all the time. You gotta look a little crazy sometimes. And I think the preteen and tween girls of today are kind of missing that. And I know it's kind of been done to death on YouTube.com, but I mean, I agree. I think we need to let tween girls be tween girls and not, go straight to go, putting on full glam to go to science class, like cuz I don't know. Like I mean, listen, we were wearing makeup when I was in high school. I'm trying to fix my dang mic stand. It's not working. There we go. We were wearing makeup when we were in high school. I mean, the girls were putting on lashes. I was never a lash person cuz already wearing mascara feels kind of weird to me, but the girls had the lashes on and they had their makeup done because, they were doing it themselves. But still, we were all looking kind of wild. I don't know if it's because of 2016, like makeup trends, or because we didn't know what we were doing, or a mixture of both. But we were still looking a little wild and wacky. But I just think, let the not even teenagers, let the 11 and 12-year-olds just like be 11 and 12, let them shop at Justice. Let them get fashion glasses from Claire's that were god awful, like I did. Let them wear cute headbands, you know? Let them get braces with really colorful bands around them because I did that too. Not for a fashion statement. My teeth honestly weren't that bad, but I guess my dentist said I needed braces, so I got braces. Not that I wanted them. I didn't want braces, you know. it was kind of a rite of passage to get braces, but I didn't want them. It looked like medieval torture devices, and they were. Braces honestly suck so hard, and my teeth are kind of shifting now. Like, I have a decent amount of space. Like, I have a gap in my front two teeth. Like, I know that now. I can accept that. It wasn't always there. And it's because after I went off to college, I literally did not bring my retainers with me. I left them at home because I was like, I don't need to. I'm an adult. I can choose whether or not I wear these stupid retainers. I'm not wearing them. And I chose not to wear them. And, I mean, it's not like I'm going to die if I don't wear them. Because I remember being at the orthodontist when I was like, however old I was, and then being like, Aaron, what we're trying to do is we're trying to fix your overbite, because I had a 5 millimeter overbite apparently, which is honestly probably worse now, because like I have a permanent retainer on my bottom teeth, so they haven't moved, but my top ones, they got back into position. Okay, ladies, now let's get in formation. That's what my top row of teeth have done, um, but anyways, they told me I had a 5 millimeter overbite, and they're like, if you fall on your face, your teeth are gonna break before your nose does. And I'm like, how often am I supposed to be falling on my face? And if I do fall on my face, both my teeth and my nose are breaking. So like, who cares? I don't ever think that whatever issues I had with my teeth were ever that bad. They were never overcrowded. They were never, one on top of another, just like this. They were straight. They were just, I guess, protruding. Listen, I don't know. Maybe I have incorrect memories about what my mouth looked like before I got braces, but I never remember it being that bad. And honestly, the worst time. The worst. Just constant pain on the inside of your mouth. Just like anytime I would get them tightened, it would be like a week before I could eat properly. It was just mouth sadism. It's the only thing that I can describe having braces as, and it's like, it's just the worst. Anyways, why am I even talking about braces? I don't know. I think I've been going for a sufficient amount of time. So, oh man, follow me on Twitter, because if you're not following me on Twitter, you're only getting half the story. And I'm gonna keep saying that, because honestly, it's so funny. Because, like, if you're not watching Untucked, are you really only getting half the story? Because, like, what are you missing in Untucked? I mean, I guess there's, like, some fights, but whatever. That's not important. I'm gonna have another sippy sip. Podcast is over anyways. This has been the 10th episode of the Runnin My Mouth podcast. I'm gonna go now, because, I don't know. I gotta charge my phone. It's on 14%. That's kind of lame.